The purpose of this video is to influence you to hire me as your attorney. Let's start off with the first thing I'd like you to think about. Need for conferences. Let's say that you live here in Springfield. Then geography for you is not a problem. But let's assume you live in one of the counties that's not Greene County, and you'd have to drive in here to see me. That's going to be probably the only time you'll have to come in here. As you have learned in the other videos, your meeting is either going to be held here in Springfield or in Carthage. So that meeting is a given no matter who you hire. But on the smaller towns that are not here in my immediate area, let me point something out to you. You're going to call on a lot of attorneys, and they'll represent creditors in your community. I don't represent any creditors, and your confidential matters are going to stay confidential with me. In the small towns especially, even among attorneys, your business gets to be everybody's business because of the way small towns work. So if confidence is important to you, which I'm sure it is, you need to think about that. Email, videos, and accompanying materials. You're going to get material from me, and you'll have it at home. You and I will get on the phone. We'll go through the assets, liabilities. You'll have already watched videos that explain everything to you. So you're going to understand what we're doing. You're going to be in your own home where it's very convenient. You can relax. You can drink a Coke or a cup of coffee. If you want to replay something, you can do that. It's a productive way to learn. It's a productive way to get what we need done. If you're not close to Springfield, somewhere or other you and I can meet up to sign that petition. Jane, my wife, and I, we frequently drive around on the weekends. We can drop by and have you sign it. That's not a problem. So it's geography is just frankly no longer a relevant consideration. No work papers to complete. Other than you filling out the list of what your household goods are, you're not going to fill anything out. You and I, over phone conferences, are going to complete all of those schedules and different parts of the bankruptcy petition. I'll email or fax you a copy. You can review it. We'll discuss it again. The important thing is you're going to understand everything. It's not going to be a hurried way of doing something that's not accurate, that's not complete. No paralegals or secretaries. You know, that's a frequent subject of confusion among the public. What's the difference between a paralegal and a secretary? Well, there isn't any. I can hire somebody this morning, give them a box of business cards, and tell them that they are my paralegal. There is no industry standard for who is or isn't a paralegal, so don't be confused by that. Don't be misled. Assistance with pending lawsuits. If you call one of these multi-location bankruptcy firms, they're not going to help you with any collection lawsuit you've got pending. They'll say, well, you just need to file bankruptcy. Well, you may not have the money to file bankruptcy right now. We'll get to the retainer here in a minute, but even with that first visit, you pay the minimum retainer. I'll enter an entry of appearance into that case, and we'll continue it and get you some time so that your wages aren't garnished or your bank account's not seized. You need to give me at least 2 days before the next scheduled court date so that I can have time to accomplish what I need to do. Accept creditor calls. If you come in here and hire me as your lawyer, then when you leave and a creditor calls you, you'll say, no, you need to call Jim Moroney. He's my attorney. I'm filing bankruptcy, and he's handling all that for me. Try that with the big box bankruptcy firms. They're not going to do it. They just know they will not help you do that at all. Actually attend 341 meeting. If you've watched the rest of this series, you know I've explained to you about how a lot of the law firms never even show up at the 341 meeting to represent you. They'll have some $50 lawyer stand in for them. Well, that's not going to happen with me. I represent and will be present at all 341 meetings for all my clients. Accept client phone calls at no charge. I don't get that many phone calls from clients. I call them and keep them informed as to what's going on. They know what's going on, so they don't worry about it. If you do have a question, you can call me, And I'm not going to charge you $50 per phone call. I don't charge for phone calls. I've never had a problem with client abuse of calling too many times. If you know what's going on and you know that we're doing what needs to be done, you're not going to need to call me anyway. The big firms, though, they can't take the phone calls because there's no personal service there. So they're going to charge you $50 a phone call. That's the industry average. They don't want your phone call, so we'll penalize you. A 5-minute phone call will cost you $50. Well, what are you going to learn in 5 minutes? So, take that into your consideration. No switch and bait attorney fees. When you and I meet, I will look at your liabilities, your debts, and share with you what we need to do to successfully complete a bankruptcy. And I will tell you at that time what the attorney fee is. There's going to be no hidden fees. I'm not going to bill you for emails or faxes or copy expense and all this other switch and bait. You're told one fee, but it ends up being a lot more. If you attend a 341 meeting before you hire me or any other attorney, visit with the people that are going through bankruptcy. They'll visit with you, and they'll tell you how they had the screws put to them on these add-on expenses. So don't you be a victim. Established phone procedures. If you call the office here and I'm in court or doing something, maybe meeting with a client, leave your name, your number, and where you're going to be at different locations during the day. And that day, I'm going to return your phone call. That's the way we run the office here. So we have established phone procedures, and you'll benefit from that. You're understanding bankruptcy as a logical sequence instead of perceiving them as a series of disconnected happenings. A lot of the people that go through bankruptcy, especially the ones that have used these big box law firms, they've never understood anything in bankruptcy. They've been frustrated and confused through the whole thing. They've wondered whether something was being done, what needed to be done. They've never understood anything. They're called occasionally and told to come in and sign something. They don't know what they're signing or why they're signing it. They're just doing it. That's helter-skelter. Well, the attorney-client relationship, that's supposed to be a meaningful relationship. That's what you and I are going to have. You're not going to be victimized by something like that. Personal service and knowledge, a willingness to share it with you. Again, I want you to know what I know. I want you to have peace of mind and confidence in what we're doing. I've mentioned to you, you can create your own account for the federal court docket system. And you can look on there every day or whenever you want to see what's being done and where we're at on your bankruptcy. You're going to have peace of mind. That's not going to happen with the big firms. You're going to be treated like cattle. That's what the people tell me that have had those law firms. They're just being herded in and out. One attorney does one thing, another attorney does another in their case. They've never known anybody other than maybe a paralegal. And maybe she wasn't anything more than a secretary with a paralegal title. So it's all fraudulent to the consumer, and there's no legal preclusions to stop it. So that's why I'm telling you about it. Your consumer vote that you won't be manipulated by advertising. If you stop and think about it, look at the commercials for credit cards. Did they ever give you any information? Look at the attorney advertising on television. What did you learn from a practical standpoint? What did you learn from that commercial? And then compare that to what you've learned on this website. That's the difference. That's the difference. So I hope that you take this website and my good faith into consideration and use your consumer vote in deciding who you're going to hire as your lawyer. Do you want to be manipulated and victimized and treated like some dumbo? Or do you want an attorney who's up front with you, shares everything he knows with you, stays in contact, and is your friend? You need somebody that cares about you. So give me a call. I look forward to it. If you call, be sure to leave me your name or your email address, and I'll send you the Rights and Responsibilities Agreement. The Western District requires that you read and sign that. It's not a contract, but it is something that you need to sign, that you've received a copy of it, and that you understand what attorney services would be provided. I'll also send you a copy of my contract so that you can read that before you come in the office. You compare that to the big firms. When you go to see them on your first interview, you're going to be given a big stack of papers to fill out, and that'll be the end of it. And they'll get your money, and you'll leave and say, hell, I didn't learn anything. Well, I don't treat you that way. So I hope you give me a call. Jim Moroney, 417-831-0606. Thank you.